Since the dawn of time, humanity has made it its mission to crawl up to the highest peak and observe the stars above. So, as early as possible, we threw a giant telescope into space so we could get a better look at them. The Goodle Days presents a historical profile of the Hubble telescope. Now, why would we do that? We have telescopes down here on Earth. Why do we have to put them in orbit like that? Well, on March 24th, 1993, the Hubble Space Telescope was launched into low Earth orbit to answer not only those questions, but also questions about the birth of the universe itself. So, the efficacy of a giant space observatory in Earth's orbit was speculated by scientists as early as the beginning of the 20th century, long before NASA was a twinkle in a bead of sweat on Eisenhower's jowls. But launching a massive space telescope into orbit never really was a foregone conclusion. It was the scientist Lyman Spitzer who posited all the way back in 1946 that a space telescope would produce an image without interference from the turbulence of Earth's atmosphere, and that we would be able to observe infrared light from stars millions of light years away. It was through the determined efforts of scientists like Spitzer that a program to launch a powerful telescope into orbit was begun by NASA in 1970. 23 years later, and the Hubble was in orbit. It was named after the renowned astronomer Edwin Hubble, whose groundbreaking research provided a basis for our understanding of how the universe was born, and how we could determine the distance to galaxies far off in space. Though its first few years were fraught with shoddy optics, and not the PR kind like the "it was literally taking blurry pictures" kind, its ability to be serviced continuously over its lifespan made it one of the most valuable tools that astrophysicists had to observe the universe. The Hubble's contributions to astronomy are innumerable. Scientists were able to peer back into the distant past to glimpse at the formation of galaxies, tracing cosmic distances simply unimaginable to the human mind. With the launch of the Hubble, the true scale of the universe was laid before us in ways our ancestors could only dream about. But even before the Hubble was launched, scientists had already begun discussing a follow-up. On Christmas Day 2021, after years of planning, a joint mission by NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency launched the James Webb Space Telescope into orbit. The JWST is an improvement on the design of the Hubble in almost every conceivable way. Its primary mirror is more than 2.5 times greater in diameter than the Hubble's, and despite this, it's still half as massive. The JWST is now sending back images from space of dreamlike quality and collecting data for scientists to use to further uncover the mysteries of the universe. Of course, we have the Hubble to thank for being the first space telescope to foster humankind's curiosities. Want more history content like this? Follow the Goodle Days on all social medias, share the video, and tag a friend who loves history. We'll see you in the next one. Brought to you by ScripTalk, talking prescription labels for the visually impaired.